The Master Chief is dead.
This file reads missing in action. Underestimate him.
The Halo franchise has played a huge role in shaping the console FPS scene today, but I think it's fair to say, as groundbreaking as Halo once was, in recent years it has lost the crown to other shooters. But the King hath returned, and being back in the actual Master Chief helm after 5 long years is a big deal.
Don't suppose you're any good at clearing LZs?
On occasion.
They've fleshed out his character and his relationship with Cortana beautifully this time too. I never expected to say this about a guy in a helmet and a computer program, but their performances have real humanity and depth to them.
Before this is all over, promise me you'll figure out which one of us is the machine.
Honestly, I'm not a huge Cortana fan, but I'm starting to warm to her now. She has some fantastic scenes here. They've also managed to cut through a lot of that confusing and dense storytelling that has plagued Halo games. Long-time questions are answered, and they've created some epic sci-fi moments. But at the core, it's just great to be the Chief again, shooting shit up.
This game follows on from Halo 3 with the Chief being awoken from cryosleep. You'll get a few seconds to drink in the gorgeous new graphics before you're fighting off some familiar Covenant boarding parties. There's so many new toys to play with, like the heavy machine gun and the railgun. It's pretty much all the best guns from Halo's past. Plus, with a whole new alien race called the Prometheans comes a ton of schmick new hardware.
I loved how their guns seem to build themselves around your hand like a mini transformer.
My favorite new weapon has to be the one you wear, the Mantis mech.
Well, the Chief is already a mechanized war machine, so it's kind of like his version of the Mario mushroom power-up. He gets bigger and angrier. You do not want to be around when he stamps his foot. And it's easy to forget, but when it comes to console FPS, just no one does it better than Halo. There's that right balance of auto-aim, and the hitboxes are all the right size, and every bullet just goes exactly where you intended to. I always feel a bit rubbish when I'm on console FPS because I play with the mouse and keyboard so much, but with Halo, it just doesn't matter.
I think one of 343's biggest achievements is it just looks and feels like a Halo game. Everything's familiar. Those calculated headshots, the brutal melee, a well-timed grenade. But best of all is they've managed to add a huge amount to the sandbox without ruining it. Learning how to take down those Prometheans just felt like the first time I've played Halo and was confronted by the dastardly smart elites.
Well, he's just a ray of sunshine, isn't he?
These guys are tough and require some smart new strategies to beat.
Also, I feel like all the enemy combinations and placements are all on purpose. They're all there to give you a unique and structured challenge. Sprinting is also no longer an armor ability, you can just do it at any time, and I think that's been long overdue. And it is satisfying sprinting up to an elite for a well-timed face punch. There's also a new energy shield armor ability. This is handy for pushing up into enemy positions and getting amongst them with a shotty, or just to get out of trouble.
Surprisingly, it's Halo 4's settings that had the biggest impact on me. Visually, this is easily one of the most stunning 360 games yet. Textures are detailed, it loads quickly, and it flows well, and the lighting effects make each scene pop. More than the technical achievement, though, it's the design of the locations that really stands out. Human spaceships have this gritty, lived-in feel with nods to classic sci-fi films. And then contrasting against this, you have majestic alien Forerunner structures. But it's the little details that bring it home. I was slow panning around this alien world when I noticed that some of the taller structures were actually casting shadows on the clouds.
I remember that bit, but I wasn't slow panning. I was looking at this big open environment going, why am I walking when I could be in a vehicle? And then I see the game's first warthog.
Warthogs, and still in one piece. Nice to see your luck is holding out.
And this is just one of many examples about how this new studio just gets Halo. They know we love belting across big open environments and vehicles.
Well, someone's overcompensating.
Blowing this up, blowing that up. Seeing something over there and blowing that up too.
And it wouldn't be Halo if letting your AI teammates drive was anything but a complete disaster. I mean, come on, it's like they're auditioning for world's stupidest drivers.
Yes, but it's always fun taking revenge. Most importantly, Halo 4 nails its pacing. So many shooters are just action, 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 but here you really get the time to stop and smell the sci-fi. And I especially like the drip feed and placement of weapons, because there'll be many situations where you feel like you could really use a shotgun, for example, and their one will be just off to the side, but it's in a subtle way, it's not jammed down your throat.
The game's story and the curveballs that it threw out are what really gripped me, and we've said very little about the story so far.
You could say we've been Spartan in our approach.
You could. What we can say is that this game isn't afraid to blindside you with big surprises. I mean, die-hard Halo fans will just lose their collective minds over some of the epic moments here.
Oh my god! Oh, it all makes sense now! If you're a huge Halo fan, you will jump out of your chair more than once. If you're not, you will have a clear idea of what you need to do in the game, but some of the bigger ideas, I felt they could have been reinforced and explained a little bit better.
I don't know, I think sci-fi is meant to be a little bit mysterious, and the less is more approach to acting in the cutscenes is really well done, I think. There's minimal dialogue in the game, but the performances are some of the best we've seen in a first-person shooter.
I was put into service 8 years ago.
8 years.
AIs deteriorate after 7, Chief.
It certainly does feel like the start of a new trilogy as well. There are lots of ideas being planted here, I think, that have room to grow. But we won't talk about the story anymore for fear of spoils, but we can talk about the multiplayer.
Things have been changed up quite a bit this time. You'll now earn Spartan points as you rank up, which can be spent on unlocking guns and armor abilities. There are a lot more options for tweaking your starting weapons than we had in Reach, so you can spend more time playing how you'd like to play.
I just love unlocking stuff and customizing it, and that'll keep me playing past the first few weeks.
There are loads of other little tweaks too, such as how Slayer is more about scoring points rather than kills. Overall, it feels distinct from previous Halos, but it hasn't lost that Halo magic. It's just a bit faster paced and more engrossing than ever before.
Plus, I like the new Call of Duty kill cam. Thanks to that, I'll never have to endure the teabagging aftermath. We also jumped into a bunch of local split-screen matches, and it reminded me just how good it is split-screen on a couch playing an FPS with a friend.
Oh, no! No!
And
A mech
I'll avenge you, Hex, and then teabag you with my spaceship.
Oh god! I'm out of here.
Worth it. And I wish every multiplayer game had Halo's theater mode.
It's also good to see Halo's Valhalla making a comeback as Ragnarok. I mean, Halo's always been at its best with vehicle combat in the mix. And the Firefight Wave mode has been replaced with the much more interesting Spartan Ops. It's essentially a whole new Halo campaign taking place 6 months after the main campaign wraps up and follows the story of a new group of Spartans.
I thought you'd be taller.
But we should wrap this up. Hex, final thoughts?
You know, I think a lot of us felt that there were just too many sequels and too many shooters coming out of this year's E3, and all the real innovation was coming from the smaller digital titles. But, you know, with this and Assassin's Creed 3, it's just proof that surprises are still possible within the big sequel system. This truly is a gripping sci-fi experience. I'm giving it 10 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I think 343 Industries have done the impossible here. They've made a sequel that is actually better than all of Bungie's sequels, and that's an amazing achievement when you think about it. I've always liked Halo a lot, but now I'm finally starting to love it, so I'm giving this 10 out of 10 rubber chickens as well. Double tens, Hex. Grab the chief. Let's go.